Hey, Sam, thanks for coming in so quickly. We recorded an episode yesterday that was about to come out, and we discussed Trump and Musk. And in light of today's events, we decided to jump back in here. So thanks for jumping
Yeah,
in so
a few
quickly.
things have happened. So
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
we're going to record an addendum now and then tack that on to the back of the episode that was destined to arrive today.
exactly. Okay, we're back. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Okay, we have a lot to get to today, but
What's happening?
just a quick housekeeping before we do. I need to clarify some things. Many, this isn't for you, this is for the audience. Many in the
Mm,
audience have already picked up on this, but again, just to clarify, the goal of this series is more from Sam on current events more often. My job here is to draw more energy out of Sam to surface his ideas in a format that's a little looser than the podcast. So the tone will be more casual. If the pacing is faster, that's all intentional. I'll sometimes play devil's advocate and even exaggerate positions, whatever it takes to keep things moving. None of this is about me, so don't get caught up on what you think my positions actually are.
this
Uh,
is your response to some hate mail?
Oh, well, this is
Yeah,
just to clarify. I think a lot of
yeah,
people, most people got it, but some people were confused. And and one of the things, one of the reasons why we didn't bring on the another academic or intellectual is that they would show up with their own agenda, and that's not what we wanted here. We wanted to really push you around, and so this will feel different from the polished conversations and essays that the audience is used to. Again, that's intentional, and this series is not meant to be a replacement for anything. So all those wanting more science podcasts, those are still happening. It's simply in addition to what we're already doing or what you're already doing, Sam. And lastly, it's a work in progress. So who knows where this still may go? I hope that helps. And with that out of the way, on to our first topic.
well, it is a thankless job, so thank you for it.
Well, thank you for making the time for us because I do think that many in the audience do enjoy hearing more from you. And so we're going to do more of these as long as that is the case. All right. Yesterday, Elon Musk tweeted, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled
Mm,
congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." Any thoughts there,
right.
Sam?
I guess the first thing I notice is the phrase anymore, right? So, like, just how long has he been putting up with this stupidity and incompetence that he can now no longer stand? I mean, he obviously he's been shilling for this administration to a degree that would be impossible to exaggerate. On his own account, he loves Donald Trump more than as much as any straight man can love another man.
And Trump was right about everything
Yeah,
too.
Trump was right about everything. He has shown nothing but contempt for anyone who would take uh, the opposite side of that debate to any degree. I don't know what I mean. I don't know how to interpret his utterances at this point. The man seems so dysregulated. I mean, having watched that press conference last week, or at least long sections of it, um, something's obviously not right with him psychologically.
Right. Well, he had apparently a phone call with Speaker Mike Johnson on Monday, and he said that Elon Musk seemed to understand the virtues of the legislation, and he was very disappointed and surprised to hear him come
Right.
out. I guess a
Yeah. So
couple
I
of days
think
later.
Elon is capable of surprising a lot of people. It seems
Yeah.
he's one person one moment, another person the next. I certainly have experienced that surprise over a longer time course.
Does it not concern you that he couldn't make a real dent in reducing the debt? I mean, it looks like Trump's new bill could add 2.4 billion to the debt, and I mean, Elon, for all of his all the stuff you say about him, he's obviously quite gifted in some areas. And the fact that he just took a wrecking ball and
Right.
still ended up I mean just in some accounts adding more to the debt.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna find out more about what DOGE actually accomplished. I think at this point, it's pretty easy to see that the main thing it accomplished was chaos, and the reduction of morale among otherwise well-intentioned and competent people in our government. I mean, I just think it's and colossal brand damage for Elon and his companies, right? And that's the main effect. Yes, he found some waste and abuse, presumably, but I think that the lesson that people are drawing now is that there's not nearly as much fraud or waste or abuse to be found in government spending, as many of us would expect. Elon claimed he was going to find 2 trillion. Then he knocked that down to 1 trillion. He
Then it went
claims
down to
to
150 million.
Yeah, he claims to have found something like 150 or 170 billion.
Sorry,
I
billion. Right.
think estimates are that it's much less than that, and that perversely, all of this chaos may have in fact added cost to the government. Um, I mean, it's been a disaster, and it should be viewed as a disaster. I mean, I'm sure right of center, they still imagine great things were accomplished because of the level of lying, frankly, that Elon and Trump uh, perpetrated. I mean, they stood before the country and said that millions of people are receiving Social Security checks, and they're 150 years old, or otherwise dead. That's just not true, right? They lied about that. Trump said it, I think, in his State of the Union, lying about that. Um, I'm sure Elon is still lying about that, and this it's just that sits atop a long list of lies. Um, the, it's just the truth of the matter, per Matt Iglesias's Substack article this morning, is that the Social Security just had some weird practice of keeping lots of void accounts still on the books, for some data keeping, bureaucratic principle that I don't understand. But no one was getting these checks, and everyone knew over there that no one was getting these checks. And the DOGE team just didn't know how to interpret what they saw there, and they quite recklessly announced to the world that millions of people were getting paid. And that's just, I mean, uh, everything you hear about what they were up to suggests a level of callousness and contempt and recklessness that is was their those moods were their guiding principle, right? I mean, it's just, and again, it remains to be seen whether the real goal was efficiency, and not just the demoralization of the so-called deep state, right? I mean, that's certainly that has been announced by people like Russell Vogt, that the goal is to have everyone working for the government get up in the morning and feel nothing but depression and terror, or something. That's not the verbatim quote, but pretty close. Like, they just to be afraid to come into work because of how fucking awful their lives are. Do we really want an approach to government that maximizes for that attitude?
Well, so given this fallout, both of these men are two of the most powerful people in the world, and they have massive platforms, and
Yeah,
they're
that's an
petulant,
awful
and they're babies, and they're bullies.
situation.
So yeah, this could get very ugly if they, how do you feel about what could happen between the two of them?
I hope they collide appropriately, and we get to see in the scattering of controversy their true characters at this point. I mean, I just think our society has to, our culture, politically and elsewhere, has to lose its patience with failures of integrity and dishonesty, right? I mean, we just we above all, we should want competence and integrity from the people who purport to be guiding our society towards some end, right? And insofar as people are revealed to be liars and crooks and double dealers, and just fatally compromised by their own conflicts of interest, just avaricious lunatics of the sort that we see in Trump and company. His rapacious family that's just grifting, on everything that can be put within arm's reach. Um, we should lose our patience for this. I mean, this is disgusting, right? It's like, we have to feel a capacity for moral revulsion over this sort of stuff. This is not normal. This is not, I mean, much less good. And how we get to the point where we all just vomit in unison, I don't know, but I mean, we have to get there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it possible that we needed a Trump or a Musk type or both of them in DOGE to begin to
To
pop
no,
the
to
hood?
realize how bad Trump and
Yeah.
Musk and Doge
No,
are?
no, 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 no. To
No.
realize, to start taking the debt seriously. I mean, do you really think if Kamala Harris was elected, we'd be doing that? Do you think there'd be an abundance movement without Trump?
Well, I mean,
I mean, is there
it's
some credit that
I
goes
mean, it's
there?
a interesting question, but I mean, you're saying that, any kind of pendulum swing back to sanity is it can be credited to just how bad things have gotten. Well, okay, but, like, do we have to rush toward the cliff in order to finally be, to be safe? I mean,
Well,
no,
I'm
I
saying
think
we were rushing toward the cliff. No one
we're still
was
rushing toward the
addressing.
cliff. I mean,
Yeah, but
we still haven't figured out an appropriate response to
okay, but
the
the last
debt.
administration wasn't focused on that, or at
No,
least
and then nor is this one apparently, right?
well,
It's
this one is
adding
at least
trillions.
pretending to. Okay, they're
No,
at
but it's not
least
even pretending to at this point. That's why Elon can't stand it anymore.
right.
Anymore which probably means the last 30 seconds, but he can't stand it anymore. This is an abomination, this bill on his account.
Okay, I'm going to shift gears.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I know you're going on Jordan Peterson's podcast soon, and so I want to talk about him for a moment. He's been credited for bringing so many people back to Christianity 2.0, more of the, I guess, live and let live Christians versus the 1980s, or I guess the 1480s for that matter. I think there are a number of reasons why Jordan has been so effective here, and I want to come back to him in a moment. But coinciding with his efforts is a massive loneliness epidemic, and it's very real. Given your concerns with religion and the current inability for any other organizations to recapitulate a communal experience in quite the same way religion has been able to, do you feel differently now about people finding their way back to faith? Until AI, as you said, maybe could dream up something that solves all of these concerns. Uh, isn't religion a better alternative for some people?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it might be I mean, it's if you caveat it that way, I think I can probably say yes, it might be a better alternative for some people, but prison is a good alternative for some people. I mean, it's just it's is it the best alternative for any person? I doubt it, right? I mean, just Christianity. If we could edit the homophobia out of Christianity, if we could edit the expectation that
But they
uh,
have. I mean, a lot of new, that's what I'm
well, no,
saying,
no, but like
2.0.
really edit it so that it made absolutely no sense to be homophobic. Like there's no recourse to the teachings that could get you homophobia.
Okay, but there are a lot of people that are looking away that these days and just don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, well, that's
They're
true.
ignoring that. So I think there is a
Yeah.
new version of it, and people who are looking for purpose and community. After what so many people have seen social media do, it's just ripped society apart, and it's also just made people feel so alone, or it's at least contributed, I believe, in a big way. Why not? Why not encourage people, as Jordan has, to find faith? And I'm sure there's other reasons there as well, but for purpose and community. I mean, I don't necessarily understand the Catholicism part. It feels very ritualistic. I would imagine people would look for something a little bit more lightweight for their connectivity, but I still I kind of get why people are doing it. As somebody who was a former practicing Jew,
Mm.
I, as I've said this before, I really miss community, and there's just nothing that's replaced that for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do think that's a void, and we need to fill it. But the question is, can we fill it with something better and more reasonable and not intrinsically divisive, um, not intellectually embarrassing, not doesn't require any lies to oneself or to one's children. Um,
But I think this new brand of Christianity has minimized those sort
but it
of
hasn't
self
really. I
lies.
mean, listen, it takes me 15 seconds to drill down in a conversation with any Christian to get to the crazy part, right?
Well, I mean, you're still going to hell, but I mean, there's still some
Yeah, so,
benefit.
I mean, there is no if there is no crazy part, then it really isn't fulfilling. That's the thing, right? If there is no, crunchy center of it's not the crunchy center. What is it? It's the chewy center of the Tootsie Pop. If there's no chewy center of superstition and otherworldliness and expectation of redemption after death, or at least yeah, I mean, at least some it's there has to be some magic in there. Otherwise, we're just talking about, who's gonna bring the egg salad for the picnic, right? I mean, it's like well, can we figure out some other way to picnic? I mean, it's not just a tailgate. I mean, you're tailgating for God here. You're tailgating for eternity, and that's what makes it uh, especially meaningful, right?
Okay, well, back to
I mean,
Jordan for a
And
sec.
Jordan doesn't disavow that. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to talk about with Jordan. It's been a very long time since we've spoken, and I haven't really followed all of his
Well, but did
kind of
you
the
see that
vagaries of his.
clip of him going? Well, we're going to talk about that too in a second. Did you see that clip going around with him on the Jubilee podcast episode where
I saw that it exists. I actually didn't watch. I think I saw. Maybe I caught part of a clip, but I just decided to not pollute my brain with it in advance of my conversation with him. I mean, I could see that there was some kind of consensus forming online that he had not acquitted himself well in those conversations, and whether
But
that
do you
clip
not
was.
want to talk to him about that? I think it'd be very interesting to talk to him about it because
I
he
didn't.
seemed
Oh, well, I
very
just didn't want
evasive
to
there.
prejudice my like. I can't imagine he wants to talk to me about it, right? And I don't know what I can say to him. I mean, I listen. I know how Jordan debates atheists because I've debated him. Um, it would be unsurprising to me that if you stuck 20 atheists in a room with him, it wouldn't go very well. I mean, it's not like anyone on his side has good answers to the questions atheists pose. There are no good answers, right? I mean, the atheists, the religious people are slow to recognize it, but they really are